What's in a name? My name is Venkat Balasubramani. It's long and hard to spell, and rather than flash a picture, let me go ahead and spell it out for you to illustrate it. Ready? V-E-N-K-A-T B-A-L-A-S-U-B-R-A-M-A-N-I. Not surprisingly, getting on the phone and resolving the slightest customer service issue is and will always be one of my biggest nightmares. Seriously. A question I get all the time, and one that I still don't have a clear answer to, is what does your name mean? This is so despite knowing how to speak an Indian language and having asked my parents and my grandparents. My father's name is Gopalakrishna Shastri Balasubramani. Don't worry, I'm not going to go through the same exercise spelling that and forcing everybody to sit through that. It's actually a bit longer because there's a place where he's from that he added to his name. It's Trichur Gopalakrishna Shastri Balasubramani. Working in corporate America in the 70s, it was a point of pride for my father to not change his name or shorten it or to adopt a nickname. I think it was because he wanted to hold on to where he was from, and he felt like it would be giving up a core part of himself to change his name. He has some fun stories about his name and how it worked out well for him, having such a long and tough to pronounce name. For example, he tells the story of one time getting pulled over for speeding early in the morning, and the police officer took a look at his driver's license and said, "Oh wow, it's way too early in the morning for this. There's no way I'm going to be able to spell your name. Consider this your freebie." He has another story he tells where he was writing a fine for a traffic violation. I guess he wasn't the best driver. But he wrote a check, and the judge looked at his check, and his eyes popped out of his head, and he says, "I can't believe this. This is incredible. Can I hold on to this check?" "Of course, I'm going to dispense with the fine." For me, growing up, it wasn't as easy. I had a lot of challenges with my name, and especially at elementary school and junior high school, my friends or my classmates gave me a lot of nicknames, often derisive or just poking fun at me. Some examples: Vinny Barbarino, then cut the cheese, then cock. I could go on. Venny. Even my cousin in India, who I would see during the summers, gave me a nickname, which is pretty common, Venki. A yoga teacher I had called me Venkatesh, which is another variation of my name. I remember dreading the first day of school when the teacher would inevitably pause next to my name, and I would brace myself for the inevitable embarrassment that would follow. I felt small and like an outsider and out of place. So much so that in college, I shortened my name. And I went by Van. Not just Ven, which would be a natural shortening of my name, but Van, because it sounded cooler. Maybe there was a brand affiliation, or maybe it was hearkening back to the days of growing up in the San Fernando Valley. In any event, since then, I've embraced my name, and now I go by my name, Venkat. But there's actually a remaining challenge, something unresolved. Pronouncing it is still somewhat challenging. There's a few different pronunciations. There's the one that my Indian family would recognize, Venkat. There's one that often people gravitate to, Venkat. And there's one that I've sort of settled on as the Americanized version of my pronunciation. Venkat. My daughter seems to prefer that name. Interestingly, I still use alternatives when ordering food, for example. I go by Victor sometimes if I'm by myself. Not surprisingly, I never embraced the Starbucks cup meme of posting a selfie with my name along with a picture of my Starbucks cup. My parents tell me the story of, in thinking about what to name me, what alternatives they had. And one they suggested was Mohan. And I think to myself, would my life be different if they would have named me Mohan? And it brings to mind some questions. What is your relationship with your name? Do you care how people pronounce it? Have you ever considered changing it? Coming back to the meaning of my name, I did a little digging in preparing for this presentation. And surprisingly, after spending a few hours, I still don't have a clear answer. There's a lot of internet commentary on this topic. I spent a few hours on Reddit and on the internet forums. One person said, it's a Telugu name, Velukada, the land of 7 hills. Another person said, it's a Tamil name, which is where my family's from in India. Vemkada, which means land of arid hills. There's a famous temple in India called the Tirupati, where there's a god, Venkatachalapati. I think this is what I was named after. So hopefully I've given you some food for thought. Think about when you're pronouncing somebody's name and you ask someone how they'd like to be addressed, you're giving them space. As to how to pronounce my name, I'm still not 100% sure. Thank you.